Imagine a world where the laughter of children is silenced by sniper bullets, where tiny bodies lie lifeless in hospital beds, their heads shattered by deliberate shots from afar. Not in some nightmarish dystopia from a horror film, but right now, in Gaza. Under the merciless grip of Benjamin Netanyahu's extreme right-wing regime and its ruthless killing machine, the IDF. This isn't a tragic mistake or collateral damage. This is calculated, cold-blooded extermination of the innocent. Drawing from the horrifying eyewitness accounts into Volkskrant's investigation, we rip open the veil on how Israel's far-right government has transformed Gaza into a slaughterhouse for children. Humanity, it's time to wake up from your slumber, before the blood of these babies stains our collective soul forever. Open your eyes, feel the pain, and let empathy flood your heart for your fellow humans trapped in this hell. These brave souls, the last international witnesses, are doctors from the US, UK, Australia, Canada, and beyond, who abandoned their comfortable lives to plunge into Gaza's nightmarish hospitals, risking death to save what little they could. Israel's draconian ban on foreign journalists means these medics are our only window into the abyss. And what did they uncover? A systematic campaign of child murder orchestrated by Netanyahu's IDF snipers and killer drones, targeting the most vulnerable with chilling precision. Picture this. Toddlers gasping for air, their tiny chests pierced by bullets, while their mothers wail in agony. This is the reality these doctors lived, day after soul-crushing day. In one small hospital alone, 4 children, no older than 10, lay comatose on ventilators, each with a single gunshot to the head, all admitted in just 48 hours. I stood there, staring in disbelief, wondering if some deranged IDF sniper or drone operator was out there, picking off kids for sport, for fun. This isn't war, my friends. This is genocide, pure and unadulterated, a stain on humanity that demands we all scream in outrage. Take Dr. Mimi Syed, an emergency physician and mother herself, who couldn't stand idly by while live streams showed the carnage. She documented 18 innocent children, each felled by a single bullet to the head or chest. Remember little Mira, just 4 years old, skipping in what Israel cynically calls a humanitarian zone, only to be gunned down by an IDF quadcopter drone. Her fragile skull pierced, her life hanging by a thread. Syed smuggled in tools to intubate her, fighting against all odds to save this precious child. Netanyahu's government spouts lies about self-defense, but these are undeniable war crimes. Deliberate executions of kids under 15. Their bodies otherwise untouched, no shrapnel from explosions, just clean, targeted kills. The IDF, empowered by Netanyahu's extremist coalition, flouts every rule of international law, bombing hospitals into rubble and starving entire populations, all while the world looks away. How can we sleep at night knowing this? I had to intubate dying toddlers, their blood choking them as I wiped the same tool over and over, using it on 50 patients because that's all we had. These are not random accidents. These bullets come from miles away, aimed with deadly intent to kill. Netanyahu's brutal regime even confiscates baby formula at the borders, dooming infants to slow starvation while his soldiers toy with lives like it's a video game. Imagine the hunger pangs of a newborn, the desperate cries. This is the cruelty we're allowing. Netanyahu's far-right allies, monsters like Itamar Ben-Gvir and Bezalel Smotrich, champion policies of outright ethnic cleansing, dehumanizing Palestinians as if they're vermin to be eradicated. This isn't legitimate defense. It's a fascist blueprint, straight from history's bloodiest pages, morphing the IDF into remorseless executioners who prey on the weak and defenseless. Feel the rage. Let it stir empathy for these families torn apart. Forensic pathologists have examined the evidence. These are precision sniper shots from IDF marksmen over 1,000 meters away. Bullets lodged in children's thin skulls, not blasting through like they would in adults. Not jagged shrapnel from bombs, not stray fire. These are intentional headshots and chest wounds, with virtually zero chance of being accidents, as former Dutch Army commander Mark de Cruyff declares. Netanyahu flatly denies it, but listen to the confessions. Anonymous IDF soldiers spilling the truth in Haaretz, admitting orders to shoot anyone in sight, even children, even the unarmed. Picture a playground turned graveyard. kids' games interrupted by death from the sky. This should shatter your heart. I scooped warm blood from an 8-year-old girl's tiny body with my bare hands because there was no gauze left in Gaza, the very cradle of gauze-making, now stripped bare by IDF blockades. Their strikes pulverize hospitals, leaving MRIs riddled with bullet holes, operating rooms set ablaze, and children choking on maggots in their throats from broken ventilators. This is Netanyahu's savage war on humanity itself, a deliberate dismantling of life where flies swarm over open wounds and screams echo endlessly. But it gets even more horrifying. Doctors witnessed twisted patterns, like a depraved game among IDF troops. One day, a barrage of headshots, the next, chests exploded, then limbs shattered, abdomens gutted, or even grotesque shots to the testicles of young boys. Soldiers bragging about records, one hit 42 knees in a single day, treating human suffering as a scoreboard. Netanyahu's extreme right-wing government fosters this gamification of genocide, empowering soldiers to become sadistic monsters, all while sealing borders to block aid and condemn 2 million souls to starvation and despair. Envision the terror of waiting in line for food, only to be mowed down, boys arriving in donkey carts, clutching empty bags, their bodies riddled with bullets in coordinated patterns. This is evil incarnate. I had to step over a dust-covered boy, his leg blown off, as he clutched my pant leg in silent plea, his blood pooling larger and larger while I rushed to another child. 2 brothers, just 6 and 7, lifeless with shots through their chests and heads, their father sobbing on the floor, screaming why the sniper chose the child, not him. Netanyahu's IDF labels this self-defense, but tell me, what threat does a toddler pose? None. This is child murder, plain and simple, and it should make your blood boil with empathy for these shattered families. Netanyahu's regime unleashes controversial fragmentation weapons, tiny tungsten cubes that explode inside bodies, shredding organs, nerves, and vessels from within. Wounds so small you might miss them, but inside, they're catastrophic, leading to agonizing deaths or brutal amputations. Amnesty International has condemned this for years as tools designed for maximum civilian carnage in crowded areas like Gaza, yet the IDF lies through their teeth. We don't have them. Doctors, in defiance, smuggled these deadly fragments to the International Criminal Court as evidence. This is ethnic cleansing on steroids, bankrolled by US weapons. Biden turned a blind eye to warnings from his own doctors, and Trump's callous indifference would only accelerate the horror. Imagine the searing pain of metal burrowing through a child's flesh. Feel it, and let it awaken your compassion. Patients trickle in with deceptively small wounds, only to collapse from internal hemorrhaging, their bodies too starved to fight. The IDF seizes baby formula, blocks every scrap of aid, leaving skeletons of children. WCNSF, Wounded Child, No Surviving Family, a new acronym born of this apocalypse. Netanyahu's far-right coalition systematically starves Gaza while reducing it to rubble with endless bombings. Over 64,000 dead, nearly 20,000 of them children, and that's a grotesque underestimate, according to The Lancet. Netanyahu's propagandists question these numbers to bury the truth, but the graves don't lie. This isn't a war, it's a radical right-wing extermination drive, echoing the darkest atrocities of history. Think of the Holocaust's echoes, reversed in perpetrator and victim. The IDF? They're complicit butchers serving a fascist overlord, their hands dripping with innocent blood. Doctors like Feroz Sidwa stood before the UN, testifying to deliberate destruction of hospitals, the targeting of medics, the erasure of a people. Yet supposed allies like the US keep arming Israel, feeding the beast. Netanyahu's ironclad extreme right-wing grip, forged with ultranationalist zealots, slams the door on peace and perpetuates this unending nightmare. These doctors return home racked with guilt. They escape, but Gaza's people remain imprisoned in terror. We, the world, share that shame. It's time to feel the weight of it and act with empathy. A perfect little 2-year-old, pale and still, brought in by her screaming mother, who'd waited years to conceive her, only for me to discover a bullet in her temple during CPR. I intubated her tiny throat just to show we'd tried everything, her blood staining my hands as her life slipped away. This is systemic murder, repeated 100-fold, and it should haunt you. From breaking the silence, IDF veterans confess to kill zones, where anyone moving is fair game. The BBC's probe. 95% of these child shootings trace back to the IDF, not Palestinians. Netanyahu's denials. Nothing but venomous propaganda from a regime intoxicated with unchecked power, blind to the human cost. Netanyahu's extreme right-wing government and the IDF stand guilty of heinous war crimes, genocide, and the wholesale slaughter of children. This transcends politics. It's the annihilation of hope, of innocence, of humanity itself. Wake up, world. Boycott Israel, divest from its enablers, sanction this rogue state. Hold Netanyahu and his cabal accountable before another child falls. The blood of Gaza's innocents is on their hands, and if we remain silent, it's on ours too. Let empathy guide you to action. Their suffering is our shared humanity crying out. Thank you for watching this documentary. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel, so together we can reach more people and shed light on the truth of what is happening to the Palestinian people. Only by raising awareness can we stand united and work to stop this injustice.